So it has to be
Okay,
the
now
way
it's-
you start.
There you go. And we are now live, coming to you from St. Petersburg, Florida. This is the Saltwater Ventures team. We are now presenting, let me set this up on the tripod here. You guys can step back a little bit. Oh, that's good, baby. Okay.
Right here?
Is that, you guys comfortable there?
Yeah, we're good.
They look good there?
Are we on yet or no?
You're on right now.
Hi.
Hey everybody.
Hey everybody, this is Julie Sandoval with the Saltwater Ventures team. We have here our weekly live event, and we have a special guest today. His name is Mark Bitkowski.
How y'all doing?
All right.
All right. So Mark is a longtime friend of ours, and we've actually asked him to be in this event with us today because they recently moved to Florida, and we helped them buy their home here in Florida. And prior to that, they actually had to sell their home in Phoenix. Two homes in Phoenix before they actually moved here. So that's kind of why we invited them here today, because they did the right thing and they definitely priced their homes, both homes, correctly and right for the market at the time. And so today I just have Mark here because we're going to debunk the 6 top myths when sellers price their home to get ready to go on the market. So
All right.
yeah, so we're excited and it'll be fun. You guys will see Mark's a big goofball. We're gonna have some fun today, but you're gonna get a lot of helpful tips and a lot of good myths debunked. So hopefully you can take something out of this tonight.
All
Sound
right.
good?
That sounds great.
All right, so if, I guess before we really start is whoever has questions, feel free to ask them. We have Fernando behind the camera tonight, so he is going to go ahead and interrupt us. He'll wave at me and say, hey, we got a question that you might want to answer as we're going through it. So I hope you guys get everything out of this. This will go on our YouTube and our weekly blog too. So if you have any questions, you can actually email us or type a comment in there and we'll get it. We'll take care of that question. Mark, are you ready?
I'm ready for the myths.
So 6 top myths debunked when pricing your home for sale.
Well, I always heard that, you know, if I wait a little longer, will I get a better offer? I don't know.
Well, what do you think right off the bat, Mark?
Well, you know, it's like you go on a date and you wait a long time to call the girl after you went on the date. You think it's better to make her wait? Well, it's not necessarily true in real estate. At least I don't think so, Julie. Do you?
No, that's funny, Mark. But
I mean, you know how they say you gotta wait 3 days.
don't wait 3 days.
Don't wait 3 days. If you get an offer, what do you?
Get an
you should
offer.
probably take it, right?
Right. So here's the thing. Usually your first offers that you get when you put your home on the market, those are going to be your best offers. That just seems to be tried and true. Those are going to be your best offers. What happens if you wait too long? Let's just say we've had sellers that say, we don't care how long it takes to sell. It could be on the market for 6 months. But many things happen because of that. So buyers start asking their agents. Usually the first question my buyers ask me is, how many days has it been on the market? If it's been on the market too long, there's usually 2 reasons for that. It's going to be overpriced, and then the buyers start thinking something's wrong with the house.
Exactly.
So
I'm gonna go in the kitchen and start looking under the counters. If I was coming
looking
to
for
buy a
termites?
house.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I don't, like I said, I mean, right, wrong, indifferent, they're going to start asking how many days it's been on the market, and your first offers are the best. So why wait? Let's just price it right, sell the home for the best market value, and move on.
And I know when we were looking for a house that we would see how long you've been on a market. We're like, wow, that's been on a market for like 100 days. And you start asking yourself why. You know, even like some are on a
Right.
market for a week, and the market's hot right now. A week is a long time.
Week's a long time.
So
Absolutely.
you gotta jump when it's hot.
All right.
All right.
So what did you learn from that, Mark?
You don't wait 3 days to call the girl,
Awesome.
or otherwise you don't. You get that offer.
All right. So I'm going to ask you this.
Okay.
So when you priced your home, and I know both your homes has happened in Phoenix, you guys priced them well, and you got offers right away. Did you feel that because you got the offers right away that you actually priced your homes too low? Answer that, and then we'll debunk.
No, I feel that it was priced right.
Okay.
And we had a hot market, a lot of competition in the market, and you know, everybody prices them for a different reason, the way they want to price them. Some people want to sell it, they have time constraints, they want to sell it, so they put it a little lower. But, you know, if you put it the right price, it's the right for you, you know. It's all how your situation is, I
Right.
feel.
Well, so I know that you guys were anxious to get here to Florida, and you guys definitely did the right thing. I don't think you left any money on the table. Some sellers feel like that if they get an offer right away, within hours, that they priced it too low, but that's not the case. And let me tell you a little bit more about that, why. Because what happens is, especially in this market right now, buyers are looking for months and months for their dream home. So if your house comes on the market and by the pictures they can tell that it's an option for them, they're going to come see it as soon as possible. They're calling their agent, they're coming over here on lunch break, they're looking at your house, and they're going to make an offer immediately because they know that it's not going to last very long.
And we had 2 homes to sell. One of them was a rental property, so you know what's all involved with that.
The other, I guess maybe the other thing is that what happens is it almost causes an auction effect. So when you price your home right at the market value, or even just a little bit below, you're gonna get all these offers coming in because buyers are excited. They've been looking for months for their dream home, and now they have it here, and you might even get more than what the list price is. Would you agree?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. I mean, and just remember, you know, marketing is about the visibility, but your home always has to be priced right in order to sell.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's being priced right, not necessarily what you think it is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
People always think their house is worth, or something they have is worth more than it usually is because they've had it for a long time. They value that.
And they love it.
And they love it, and you know,
Okay.
you don't want to be left, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about number 3. So, Mark, I really want you to take this one away.
Unique marketing brings higher prices. Well,
Tell me about that, Mark.
everybody has their own value of what unique is, right? Some people think a 3-legged horse running a race is unique and would want to buy it, want to have it in their stable. Well, let me tell you, it's pretty hard to sell a 3-legged horse, right? So unique not necessarily is better. You know, otherwise, you might be bringing. Yeah, we all know what this is. You might be in a whole lot of this if you think that's the right way to go.
So,
Right?
right.
Right, Julie?
Well, I mean, how would you feel if I said, Mark, I want to sell your new home here in St. Pete, and I want to put a big water fountain out front, and I want spotlights on your house, and I want a sold or a for sale sign that blinks. What would you think about that?
Well, that's kind of like he's like overcompensating for something. Or, you know, he really wants to sell that house quickly because, you know.
Would that, as a buyer, would that make you want to purchase the house and maybe even pay more for it?
No, it would just definitely make me want to take a look and say, wow, what is that guy doing?
Okay.
I don't know if I would necessarily buy it. You know, I always have to, you know, like I said, look at it.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily unique.
Right.
It's better.
So I guess so we get the question a lot, especially on luxury listings, like, hey, are you going to put this in the New York Times? Are you going to put this in Luxury Magazine? And while those things are great and it looks great on paper, necessarily that might not mean that you're actually going to get more money for the home just because we did something a little different. Or I'm putting a for sale sign in your yard that blinks, stuff like that. Financing, you know, if you have someone that's financing, their appraiser is going to come look at the home, and just because I'm doing something just a little bit different doesn't mean that it's worth more money.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
It might cost you more money.
it might
Yeah.
cost you more money. It
lot of
will
money.
cost you more money.
A lot of money to have a big sideshow on your house when you're selling it.
Exactly. Woo! All right, it's getting hot here,
Yeah, it
but
is.
we're going. All
All
right, so number 4, myth number 4. We just need to find the right buyer.
Oh, the right
The
buyer.
right buyer.
Who out there thinks they know who the right buyer is? Exactly. You don't know who the right buyer is. You know, I mean, you have to trust your realtor, and you know, we don't have fortunes on our little glasses, do we, there, Julie?
No.
What do you want them to walk in with a bunch of bling on and driving a Mercedes Benz when, you know, I mean, that might be the right buyer for somebody, but
Right. Well, I think the debunk on this is just listen to your realtor. First of all, just work with the realtor, and then after you start working with the realtor, get to know, like, trust them, and then get to respect their opinions and take their advice. We want to keep you getting the best deal, so we're going to keep you where the market value is. We're not going to be overpaying just because.
That's right.
Right.
Right. Right's the operative word here,
Right's
isn't it?
the operative word. Use a realtor and listen to their advice.
Yes.
All right.
Number 5, the
Go for
fifth
it.
myth. We need to overprice the home so we have room to negotiate. Well,
How often do you think we hear this one?
I bet you hear that a lot.
Every day.
And you know what? My opinion of this is, if you think you can overprice it, you're probably full of this. All right. I mean, that's just my opinion, but I'm not a realtor. Overpricing something not necessarily gives you room. It doesn't really make it better, in my opinion.
No.
It can actually, cause more problems on the back end. Correct?
Right. Yeah. So the danger with overpricing the home with room to negotiate, oh Lord, with room to negotiate is that if you overprice the home, you might be actually, what's the word I want to use? Like subtracting like you're not attracting the buyers that you want to attract for your home. So let's just say your home is should be maybe around $350,000, and you price it, let's just say at $400,000. You actually might be taking out a whole buyer pool that will never see your home because it's not in their price point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you may not be attracting the right buyer.
Yes.
Like we said, there is. See, I'm going back to the myth. That's how common they are out there, ladies and gentlemen. You think because you hear it so many times that it's right, but it's not necessarily right.
And the other thing is too, like if you want to overprice just to try to to leave negotiating room, just remember they're going to listen to their realtor. They're going to be looking at that market value. Financing is going to come in and give an appraisal on the property anyways at the market value that it is. And buyers are generally going to be expecting some kind of counteroffer. I would say maybe not all, but most are just trying to, we work buyers and sellers, so I'm trying to get the best deal. But, they're generally are going to be expecting a counteroffer. So, just saying.
It's not a hostage negotiation here. Now, that may be a little different, but we're not police officers.
No, we're not police
FBI.
officers.
FBI.
All right. So I gotta
CIA.
say this one because this one's my favorite one. And we get this all the time. But Zillow says my home is worth blank. Now, let me point out is that if Zillow says that it's higher, then the seller wants to take that value that Zillow's giving them. Now, if Zillow says that their home's priced or like the value is worth lower of what they want, then they're like, oh no, Zillow's wrong. My house is worth this much. So, what do you think about that?
Well, Zillow is another one of those websites out there that has its opinion. Like, what's the other ones we have?
Trulia. Those are, yeah.
So I think there's.
That'll give you a value on it, yeah.
Yeah, they all give you little values on it. I don't know a whole lot about how they price their homes. They look at neighborhood homes and then they come up with a number. I mean, their numbers, everybody I hear often says the numbers are off.
Yeah. So on average,
not familiar.
Zillow's behind the market probably about 4 months. Can you believe that? 4 months that
Oh,
they're
wow.
about behind the market. So
is it 'cause somebody's not sitting there constantly updating?
yeah, so what happens is, well, I mean, just for me, here's an example. If I put in for my open house into Zillow, by the time it feeds into Zillow, that takes 3 days alone. So what they do is they just kind of take an average of the area. I'm not exactly sure how it works. However, they haven't been in your home. They haven't seen it. They don't know what upgrades you have. They don't know if you've put a pool in recently. They don't know any of that. So they're just, it's strictly, I always say Zillow's a great tool, but always talk to a professional first. I don't know. So Mark, so we went through all six. But Mark, what was the most, eye-popping for you?
Number one.
Number one, if I wait longer, really? Really?
Because people think that they
Okay.
hold out. It's just
Yeah.
natural to hold out.
Okay.
I'm gonna get something better. The
Yeah.
grass is always greener on the other side. Well, not always. But
Yeah.
sometimes it is.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
Right.
I mean,
So here's a question for you guys.
Okay.
So if a seller says, the house down the street that's similar size and similar shape sold a year and a half ago for $300,000, that means my house is probably worth about the same. Is that an accurate statement or an inaccurate statement?
No, especially going a year and a half out, because really, to be honest, the market changes almost on the daily. The most I actually look, unless I can't find any other comps, is going to be about 6 months. So you don't really want to go longer than that. It could be a guesstimate, but the market could have gone up in that year and a half. The market could have gone down in that year and a half. How do you know for sure what condition your neighbor's house is in or was in compared to yours? So unless you walked it, if you knew, if anything came up in the inspection report, maintenance, things like that.
So would you say that the price of a home is like a pile of bananas, so it's always the same price no matter what, or is it more like the stock market that goes up and down
I would
frequently?
So I would say it's more so that goes up and down. I mean, in a high, even if it's a high market or even sometimes in a flat market, I mean, it's changing daily. Yeah.
So from the selling standpoint, if your house is on the market for 3 or 4 months, is the home worth the same at the beginning of the listing versus the end of the listing, or how does the value change over the course of time?
Yeah, so that kind of goes back to question 1 that we were talking about. So, we've had several sellers that they got, maybe not the best offer. It wasn't the worst offer either. But they said, if I wait, I'm going to get a better offer. And what happens is, unfortunately, even if there's nothing wrong with the home, the buyers, as they see that house sit on the market day after day, week after week, month after month, in their mind, the value's decreased. So unfortunately, whether that's true or not, that's just the buyer's perception. So I hope that answered the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Well, I think the key is that to have somebody that is looking at the market and seeing what
Yeah,
happens.
I mean, so I really like the big thing, like, we work with a lot of for sale by owners. And, the biggest, and I hate to say this because I think everyone uses this little thing, but if you're going to have heart surgery, would you want to do it yourself or would you rather hire a professional? The biggest thing is, you're going to want to talk to a real estate agent, consult with them. A lot of people think real estate agents are, just salespeople and we're out just trying to make a buck. We're here to service you, educate you, and act as more of a consultant, I guess I would say, rather than, I'm not just here to make the next dollar. I'm here to help you get the most money for your home in a quick time.
Okay, so now the next question from the audience is,
Okay.
are home values different depending on the time of the year? So is there a better time to sell? Is the winter time better than the summer, or vice versa, or is there any, or does it matter?
So here in Florida, I would say that it doesn't matter. Summer's busy for us, but I can't think of a time of year when we've slowed down. Now, I know in some of the northern states that might play into it. I'm not sure because I've never been in real estate in another state besides here in Florida. But I would say it's pretty consistent here, and I don't see values go down too much. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
Have any questions, Mr. Cletus Mayan? Want to
Nope.
bring out our emoji one last time?
Yep. Y'all listen to your real estate agents. Don't try to do it yourself because you might find yourself in a whole lot of this.
Yep.
It's a lot hard to.
That's right.
It's hard to dig it out sometimes. Dig yourself out of the hole.
Yeah.
How long your house sits there, the harder it is going to be. You're going to have to start coming up with creative ways.
All right, we have a question from the audience that
Okay.
says, is it wise to list a house for a lower price to encourage a bidding war?
That's
That's
a
an
great
interesting
question.
question.
That's a great question. It's not a bad idea. We've actually done it before where we priced it and we ended up getting our seller $20,000 more than what we had listed at. That wasn't even our intention. We knew we were just under the market. We didn't realize that we were going to have a bidding war that much. If you're willing as the seller, to take that lower price. If you don't get any other offers on the house, then go for it. But if not, it's always best just to price it at market value. Or, I mean, I'm maybe 5,000 under, but I probably wouldn't do more than that. But I'm conservative, so.
That's very interesting. So,
Yeah.
so what you're saying is purposely price it at market value or below it, rather than give yourself room for negotiation. Is what you're saying.
Right, yes.
Yeah. Smarter strategy.
Right. Myth number, what was that?
That is myth number 5.
Myth number 5.
We need to negotiate. We need
need
to
to
overprice
Is this
the
stuff-
home so
is
we
the-
have negotiate
Is
room.
this stuff you make up, or is this stuff that's backed up by some kind of evidence somewhere, or what? How do you get this information?
So we get this information from the National Association of Realtors. We get it from our local board, Pinellas Realtor Organization, and other experts in the field of, with lenders and things like that. So we just don't make it up. This is tried and true, experience included. So this is stuff we experience on the daily.
All right, very
Okay.
good. I think
Is
that's
there
all the
anything
questions
else?
from the audience.
Awesome. Well, great questions. We thank you guys for joining us again this week. Thanks to Mark and his emoji for joining
Yeah.
us this week.
The emoji.
Thanks for Fernando for being behind the camera tonight and not in
Yeah.
front of the camera.
That's
and
weird for me.
yeah, it's good for him.
Hello.
Say hello. We will be here next week. Buyer topic we will announce.
Oh yes.
Or do you know what that is, Fernando? If he wants to talk
No,
behind
what
the
are we
camera.
gonna, are we going to talk about FISBO?
No, we're
No.
we're gonna have another buyer subject.
Oh, we're going to have another buyer subject.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll announce what that is this week.
And now Mark's going to take his shirt off and swim all the way down to the apartments right over there.
That's far.
That's good.
That's about a half a mile. I don't know if I could do it right this
Uh-huh.
minute.
That'd be
Awesome.
good.
All right, y'all. Thanks again.
Wait a minute.
Oh wait, go. Hang on. Let me get out of the way.
Uh-huh.
Okay, not really.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
Yeah.
so visit our website, stpetecommunity.com, stpetecommunity.com.
I'll type it in.
Okay, just
Go
go to
on.
our website, check it out, find out some more about us. And thanks again for watching. Have a good night.
All right, we're signing off. Sorry about the thumb there.